Hello, welcome once again to another edition of the Coach's Corner program and also a brand new sport. We're going to talk high school basketball beginning this week and continuing throughout the basketball season. I have a couple of new coaches joining me, Corey White, the girls coach to my left, and Jamie Pearson, the boys coach to my right. And I'm not sure where to start because both teams are coming off tough losses last night. Jamie, we'll start with you and the boys. Tough double overtime loss at Delaware Hayes.
Yeah, first game for a first-year coach here at Harding, and obviously not happy with the outcome, but just happy that the way the kids competed. I think the best part of a loss is that we get to come back and practice today, and we get to play another game on Friday. So Delaware's a very good team, and we're going through the traditional bumps and bruises of missing some people, but it's been next man up. But just overall, real happy with how the kids have responded.
Good. And Corey, same scenario for you. It wasn't a double overtime loss, but it was a really close game.
Yeah. So the first game this season we lost in overtime by one. So that was a really tough game. Lots to learn from. Lots of correctables. We got a young team, so we came back, beat Mount Vernon. Girls played phenomenal. Effort was great. We lost yesterday to Upper by 4, so we were a little flat. Lots to work on, though. I mean, we're young, so we're going to hit the film today and try to correct a lot of it.
Some coachable moments.
Coachable moments, for sure.
Good.
Yep.
When we come back, we're going to talk with Jamie. We're going to talk a little bit about the game last night against Delaware Hayes and kind of talk a little bit about his transition from Marion resident, moving away, and now coming back to Marion and how much he's looking forward to being the head coach here at Marion Harding. We'll be back right after these words. Once again, back on the Coach's Corner program, and in this segment we're going to talk boys basketball. And Jamie Pearson kind of mentioned in the beginning, grew up in Marion,
Yep.
Kind of went away for a while.
Sure.
Now you're really happy to be back in Marion Harding.
Yeah, for sure. It's life just happens, and my first 26 or so years here, doing a variety of things, and just started coaching, and kind of paid my dues and moved up the ladders. And before I knew it, I was gone for 20 years, and as things always work out, I had a chance to come back, and as you get a little older and mature, you really start to think about what this place gave to you, and it's important to you to give back. And so for me, to have a chance to help the place that helped me so much, it made a lot of sense. And as you said earlier, I'm really excited about it.
Certainly Donnie Worstel had a lot of success here as the boys coach for so many years. Has he given you any tips or any advice?
Sure. Coach Worstel's been great. Have gone against him many times. Definitely respect what he has done as a coach, what he's done at Harding, and really he's made my job a lot easier, just in the sense that I'm taking over a program that's set up. It's the cupboard's not bare by any means, which is extremely helpful. And then anytime I pick up the phone or knock on his door, he's always there, and he's super helpful. Coach Worstel's an excellent coach, and someone I still use as a resource every day.
Okay, except if you knock on his door during golf season, he might not answer.
For sure.
Let's go ahead. We have some highlights we're going to take a look at, and let's go ahead and take a look at some of the highlights, including a couple of scrimmage games.
Yeah.
Westerville Central is spelled Westerville Central, I noticed.
We'll get it. What I've tried to do, and here's a look at Wes Stokes from downtown hitting the three, and Wes really does it all for us. But with Westerville Central, they were in the state finals in Division I. So something that we've really tried to do is really load up our preseason schedule, and we've done that. You know, a lot of these are highlights for a reason. They show some good things that our kids have done. I believe that's Tayshawn Jefferson there, one of the top athletes at the school. Some more Wes Stokes here, but you know, I'm one of those people that believe steel sharpens steel. So when you play Findlay and Mansfield Senior and Westerville Central, and you know, some of the teams we've gone up against, I hope that pays off later on in the season. But you know, as you look here, we're trying to get up and down a little bit. It looks like maybe Mari Pedraza on the finish there, but Jeff Jones, you know, a kid that starts for us some and comes off the bench. He's also done some really nice things for us. You know, I think this is Jeff going coast to coast maybe. He's a junior. Has put a lot of work in the off season. But as you can see, there's Hayden Bays from downtown. We're not afraid to shoot it, and we're trying to kind of go up and down with it.
Talk a little bit about the bench. Do you have your set starting five, or are there still a lot of guys competing for their starting positions?
Well, we've actually had some injuries, and so we're figuring it out. We're figuring out my system. We're figuring out who fits, and on any given opponent, it could be a different five. You know, we see Caden Jones here with a strong take, and then you know, we have different guys that have really stepped up, the old next man up. CJ Temple is an interesting ad. He was at Pleasant last year, and for his senior year, he's moved into the district, and he's with Harding, and so he's now starting for us, and he's been a strong addition for us. There's CJ hitting a three there in the highlights.
Talk a little bit about some of the JVs and maybe even some of the freshmen last year that saw JV and freshman action that are now playing at the varsity level.
Yep. The freshman team was extremely successful last year, and we've lost some of those kids for various reasons, but a kid that's been really good for us is Marquise Long. He is in the starting lineup. You know, I believe he had 8 to 10 points in our first game against Delaware. An athletic kid who's, you know, figuring out how to play the game, especially at the varsity level. It's a big jump when you go from freshman to varsity, but Marquise has put a lot of time in. He's played a lot of AAU, and, you know, he's one of the key kids for us.
Who do you have helping you coach this year?
We have some familiar Marion people. My varsity assistant's Mitch Uline. He's a Pleasant grad, but he's been teaching the Marion City schools for well over 20 years, coaching a variety of sports for well over 20 years as well. Chris Schertzer's my JV coach. He's also the girls track coach. And yeah, I know he's been around for a while. We grew up playing against each other. And then Josh Rich, you know, he went from having a son that just graduated to he's now my freshman coach, and has been really key in kind of doing whatever we want. And we're really happy to have Coach Rich around.
Good.
You know, as we're looking at some of these Mansfield Senior, the TY Tiger highlights, you know, every year they bring it. And so we had a preview the night before on a Friday, came back and battled them on a Saturday. We got beat up the Friday night in Columbus against a really good Groveport team, but I was really pleased to see us come and really compete with a really strong Mansfield Senior club. And like I said, we're in theory from the summer we're missing 2 starters, so we're getting some guys some great experience. We're figuring out guys here like Amari Pedraza with the takeoff and the flush. It'll be definitely exciting for the fans. I think with our style of play and some of our excellent seniors like Amari, Wes Stokes, Hayden Bays, and a cast of many others.
You mentioned Wes, and we've seen a couple of his highlights, certainly coming off a great football season, and you have really high expectations. I know Wes has high expectations for himself.
Yeah, you know, we got a lot of guys. Got another guy, Riley Keyran, who's battling injury right now. He hasn't played for us in a couple weeks. A very key player for us. But starts with Amari, Wes, you know, Riley. Tayshawn Jefferson's been out for some personal reasons. Look forward to getting him back to see what he can do. But, you know, it's a group of guys that have some experience, not only to playing together, but playing varsity basketball. And as I'm sure you know, you've been around for a while, Jeff, and Corey would tell you too, there's no substitute for experience. And, you know, having some of that, it definitely makes the job easier for a first-year coach.
Good. We'll come back and we'll hear from Corey White, the Harding girls coach, and we'll come back and do that right after these words. Once again, back on the Coaches Corner program, we're going to talk girls basketball right now with Corey White. And Corey, much like Jamie, new position for you, but certainly not new as far as knowing the girls and certainly working with the program over the years.
Yeah, so I've been with the Harding girls basketball team for 5 years now. A varsity JV coach the last 4 years. So I know the girls. I know them all. So we're kind of in the rebuilding process. We have a lot of young girls, a lot of inexperience this year, but taking it game by game and just keep getting better and coaching them up.
Yeah, certainly Misty had a lot of success the last several years. Coaching alongside of her, similar philosophies or different philosophies?
They're similar. So I was privileged to coach with Evan Geyer and Misty. So I got to see two different head coaches before I became a head coach, which was nice. So I feel like if I can get a good mesh in between both of those, we could be really successful. Obviously, we lost Araya Douglas last year, Nicole Flock, Taylor Iden out this year with a knee injury. So
that was, from what I understand, pretty serious soccer injury.
Yeah,
and I know you were counting on her a lot.
Big time. She's a leader from the floor to the bench. So that hurts, but she's taking physical therapy really serious. So we'll expect her back next year and better than ever.
Okay. And who do you have helping you this year coaching?
So I have Evan Geyer. So he's my brother-in-law. So he didn't have a choice. He kind of got me into this. So he's gonna ride it out with me. So I have him back, and then Olivia Davis and Kia Bransteader, who both played for Evan, are back. And Olivia is a teacher here in the schools. So she teaches here in Harding, just down the hallway. So coaches volleyball. So and Kia was with the 8th grade girls last year. So the freshman this year coming up. It's nice having her around to have that connection and help rebuild the program.
Yeah. Now, do you have a freshman program?
Yeah. So we have 8 freshmen on our team right now. We have 16 able bodies. So they're half of our team right now.
Okay.
So we'll get some freshman games in as well as some JV games.
Yeah.
So they'll have really good experience this year playing JV. Just because you're playing against sophomores and juniors a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So it'll be really good for them in the future when they're seniors. I've been talking about it all year to them. Like when they're seniors, we should have a pretty good program built up by then and be pretty successful.
Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the highlights from Harding's opening games. First game on the road, again, tough overtime loss against Licking Heights.
No, this is Just. So Justice is our senior this year, and she started varsity as a freshman, but she's been in the post the last 3 years. That's kind of where she's been. A lot of people don't know she can handle the ball, and sorry, I was watching the film. She can handle the ball and shoot. She's an extremely good shooter. So we're bringing her out this year and letting her play basketball. So I need to get her back in the post though, because she's trying to get away from that a little bit too much.
Are you going to let her shoot a three-pointer?
Oh, absolutely. She,
Okay.
I think in this game she has a couple highlights on. She had 2 or 3 against Mount Vernon. One right before halftime, which was huge. You can see in this game, we're running all over the place. We're trying to push the ball. Licking Heights is extremely fast, pretty chaotic, especially with our inexperience this year. It was a really tough first game just because it was chaotic. But our girls hung in there, and they battled the whole entire time, and we came away short, but can't fault them for the effort.
Second game, home game against what you said was a pretty good Mount Vernon ball club.
Yeah, so Mount Vernon matched up with us well. They had a number 15 who could get up and down the court, was a big girl, and we put Justice on her. Right here you see Justice with a nice steal. So you'll see Justice in the post, and then right here another steal at the top of the key. So she's a big part of our team this year. I expect her to be in the running for MOAC Player of the Year this year.
Good.
Right there's one of her threes right there, what we were just talking about. So yeah, she can shoot, she can dribble, she can post you up. When she played for me as a freshman in summer ball, she was actually my point guard that year. So then basketball season obviously started, and they moved her up to varsity, so I lost her. Right there's another 3. She might have had 3 that game. 4, maybe she had 4. Here's Keaney Jackson. Keaney's battling a foot injury this year. She was a lights-out three-point shooter for us last year. She's long, she can defend, she knows the game, she plays the game year-round. Great athlete, great girl to have on the team. And her little sister, Kamari, is right there, buries another three. So it's good having little sister action out there. Some promising stuff from her in the future too, being a freshman. It's nice having some experience out there that girls that play basketball year-round, because we lack that. We didn't have a summer this year. I got the job late in July, late June, early July. So our summer was gone. So we're just trying to get in the back of swing of things. So this was a tough one last night against Upper. Good deflection there, and we pushed the ball. We have a lot of athletes, and we want to create chaos on defense. We just got to do the little things right and be in our gap. And we get backdoored a little bit too much, but we're getting better each game with it. Right here, Kamari hits another three there. She's got a bright future. She's going to be really good, really good. And you'll see our other freshman, Anaya Mitchell. She's our little point guard. I think she has a few highlights in this as well, right here. She came from Canal Winchester, brand new this year, and she's really starting to mesh with the girls and figure out the game. It's fun having her on the court and the energy she brings to the team. And I apologize, I can't see all these. I should have worn my glasses today, so I could have kept up with them.
You're not old enough to use that as an excuse. We fell a little short yesterday with effort and just conditioning, I think. But man, if we can stay in shape and pressure the ball, we have a lot of athletic girls out there that can go out there and score and get a lot of turnovers and steals. It sounds like you'd like to play Upper in about 6 weeks.
I would love to play Upper in 6 weeks. I would love to play Licking Heights in 6 weeks. I think the second half of this year, I think our girls are really going to start meshing together. And we'll be a different team the second half of the year, I believe.
Okay.
I really do.
All right. We have a couple of the players that we're going to talk to, and we'll come back and do that right after these words.
The U.S. Army Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps is one of the largest character development and citizenship programs for youth in the world. Their mission is to promote character and leadership development focused on developing self-confidence, discipline, citizenship, leadership skills, and a sense of responsibility within the individual cadet. Throughout this course, cadets will focus on developing citizenship and patriotism. They will develop self-reliance and responsiveness to all authority, improving the ability to communicate well both orally and in writing. They will develop an appreciation of the importance of physical fitness. They will increase a respect for the role of the U.S. Armed Forces in support of national objectives. They will develop a knowledge of team-building skills and basic military skills. In addition, anyone taking the 1 to 3 years of this course grants cadets the ability to rank higher should they pursue a military career pathway. For more information, contact your guidance counselor or see Lieutenant Colonel Espinoza in room 234.
Back once again on the Coach's Corner program. In this segment, we have a couple of young ladies that I don't think really want to be here right now. Hannah White, Justice Steinman Ross to my far left. And ladies, thank you for being on. I'll try to make this as painless as possible. Justice, we're going to start with you because then when we get it over with, then you can relax a little bit. So Coach mentioned, playing as a freshman, actually playing point guard, and now here you are. 4 years later, you've certainly been a big contributor to this program in the last few years. Just kind of talk a little bit about your basketball success and how you got interested in basketball in the first place.
I've always watched my brother play basketball, and one day I asked my mom if I could play. I started playing and fell in love with the sport, and just got really good after you put work in with coaches.
And who was your brother?
Jonte Wright. He went to Delaware.
Okay. Talk a little bit about, obviously you've played different sports or different positions, point guard, post, you can shoot the three-pointers. Is there one position that you're more comfortable with?
The post. I like to shoot, but the post I'm more like, I get more points down there.
Talk a little bit about your defense, because defense I think is probably one of your strong suits.
It got better over my 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you actually listen to the coaches and are coachable, you can get way better.
And a lot of times you're going up against the girls, maybe their tallest player, their most physical players. So it's a real 32-minute game for you, not only offensively, but you can't rest at all on defense, can you?
No, always moving.
Talk a little bit about maybe your expectations for this season. I know Coach said you might be in contention for Player of the Year. That's that's high praise. Talk a little bit about maybe what you want for this season for yourself, and talk a little bit about maybe your expectations for the team.
I think we should all just work as a team and give effort every game so we can actually start winning games and have fun. Try to win the MOAC. I think we can if we actually try our hardest.
And Coach talked about, a similar philosophy to what Coach Starks has had, the past several years. Has it been much of a learning curve, or has everything pretty much been according to plan?
According to plan.
Good. Now you play track in addition to basketball?
Yeah, I throw and jump.
Okay. Do you have a favorite sport?
Basketball.
Basketball, okay.
Sure.
Well, best of luck throughout the rest of the season.
Thank you.
And Hannah White, talk a little bit about, you also are a senior, talk a little bit about your role on the team.
Well, I'm the hype man, basically. I'm always the one to break the huddle with some advice, and I'm just trying to be there for them this year. Jess is out there scoring points, but I'm on the bench cheering my hardest for her.
Okay. So you kind of recognize your position, I think, on the team as more or less a role player then, right?
Definitely. I might not be out there scoring 20 points like Justice over here, but that's all right, because what's important to me is to see everyone smiling and having fun while they're playing.
And if she gets in foul trouble, or if somebody gets injured, or can't make it to a game, you got to be ready to step in.
I step right up.
Step in it
definitely.
for every game.
Sure, certainly.
No.
I love playing.
Good.
I always am so excited when I get in there.
You're kind of a sports geek anyway, though, aren't you?
I am a bit of a sports geek. I watch as many games as I possibly can. I play as many sports as I can. I've played consistently 3 years for 3 sports my entire life, so yeah, I stay busy.
Now, do you have a favorite sport?
Well, it's switched a lot between the years, but I think basketball has hit number 1.
Is it? Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of talk a little bit about maybe what you hope to improve on this year, and maybe your expectations for the team.
All right. Well, I think that myself, I would like to improve on my post moves. Post moves have been a bit hard for me in the past. I've just basically used my muscle to push my way there, but I would like to have a bit of fancy feet to get my points. For the team, as Justice said, I would really like to win the MOAC, and I think that we can if we put in the work and if we work hard. We have that energy and effort and communication. We can definitely do it.
Excellent. Like to hear that. I appreciate you both being on, Hannah and Justice. That wasn't so bad, was it? Thank you both for being on, and best of luck throughout the rest of the season.
Thank you.
We'll be back to wrap up this edition of the Coach's Corner program right after these words. Back once again on the Coach's Corner program, and we'll talk a little bit about the next few games for both these coaches. And again, a reminder, we'll do this throughout every week throughout the end of the basketball season. Coach, talk a little bit about what you have coming up this weekend.
Friday night we have our first home game, and I know the kids are really excited about that. Galleon's coming to town. it's big for us because not only are we, trying to get our first win of the season, we're trying to get our first league win of the season. And, to me, I am familiar with a lot of the schools around here, but I've been away for a while. So, Galleon, I'm studying as we speak, learning more and more about them. But one thing that's really important to me that I impress on my kids is, I don't care if it's Galleon or Akron, St. Vincent, St. Mary's. It doesn't matter who's on the jersey. We got to play the same way against everybody. And so we'll respect all of our opponents. We'll be prepared for all of our opponents. And, I'm sure Galleon will be a pretty good challenge Friday night, and I know the kids will be ready to get after
Yes,
it.
starting into league play in game number 2, so there's not a lot of time to, get your feet set and get going. You got to start right off the bat with, again, your home opener, a league game against Galleons.
Yep, and we had a week before. Some teams played almost a week before us, so we had that extra practice time, and it all evens out. So we got some games on top of each other. I don't even know who our next league game is because how coaches are. It's like who's up,
one at a time.
One at a time. But I think we have another league game coming up next weekend, and whoever that is, we'll definitely be ready for them. But we're taking on Galleon like we're playing for our season, and so that's how we'll approach every game. And I think the kids will bring it, and they'll be excited to be in front of their Marion family. So.
I'm sure they will be.
Yep.
Corey, who do you have the next few days?
We have Galleon tomorrow, so we got 3 games this week. So it's been tough, but we have Galleon tomorrow, and then we have Shelby, league favorites, on Saturday. So we got our work cut out for us. 3 games in 1 week's pretty tough with turnaround and preparing for each different team. All 3 teams play different styles, so just got to coach them up in practice and make sure we're prepared. Ohio State took down Duke last night, number 1, so hoping we can have a really good game against Galleon tomorrow and keep building and getting better. And come Saturday, we can go make that trip to Shelby and come back with a win.
Yeah. If I were to believe the Mansfield News-Journal, Shelby's already won the title, so there's no sense even playing it. So hopefully you can prove them wrong.
That's the word, yeah. And I think we have the personnel to really match up with them and create some havoc and hopefully come out there with a win. I mean, I believe it, so I just got to get the girls to buy in, and we should be good. So.
Okay, very good. Good luck to you with the girls.
Thank you.
Jamie, good luck to the boys this weekend as well.
Thank you.
It's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Coaches Corner program. For Corey White and for Jamie Pearson, I'm Jeff Ruth.